the vast majority of white South Africans live a better quality of life now than the vast majority of black South Africans currently living will ever be able to live and could dream of living. So that's point one. Point two, crime patterns are absolutely clear across this country. The richer and whiter you are, and usually based on what I've just said, the whiter you are, the richer you are. That's an undeniable correlation based on historical rigging of our economic system during and before apartheid. The richer and whiter you are, the less likely you are to suffer crime, and the poorer and blacker you are, the more likely you are to suffer crime. And then thirdly, there is no evidence of targeted race-based murders in this country. There's not been a single land seizure in this country by the government or others based on race. And I want to speak to what Ernst Rutt said. It's crucial to point out this, that he talks about the particular brutality, allegedly, of farm murders without countenancing the fact that the vast majority of murders in this country affecting all kinds of people are particularly brutal and awful and garish. It's not unique to farm murders. It happens all the time in all communities. It is ghastly and awful. It's not a specific plight of the farmer. And Ernst claims that you need to count like the number of farm murders in line with the proportion of how many people there are. Actually, if you look at the data, Piers, farmers, whiter farmers, suffer less crime than black farmers and farmers of color because they are better protected by their wealth, which is often a corollary with their race. It actually turns out that when you count the beans, white farmers are absolutely not being disproportionately sufferers of crime. What really happens, Piers, in farming communities around the country is that in a farming community, there are many poor people for whom the only place that they can gain work is a farm. And the only source of wealth in that area is the farm. And so crime out of necessity to try and steal something to gain wealth, while very regrettable, it makes sense that it happens. It makes sense that it targets the source of wealth, the source of income, and the source of value. That happens all across the country. And there were crime stats that came out, if I can just finish, Piers, because crime stats came out 3 days ago that are super relevant to this. And thank you for the crime stats that you spoke about earlier. But crime stats came out 3 days ago from the first quarter of South Africa this year, 1 Jan to 31 March. There were around 5,700 murders across the country. There were 6 murders involving people who work on farms. 5 of them were people of color. 1 of them was a white person. 2 farm owners died. They're both black. 3 of the farm laborers who died were black, and the 1 white person was a farm dweller. So we are not here to allow the spin of data to make it sound like it is worse to be a white farmer than any other group in this country, because it is simply not true.